Good evening, good morning, wherever our friends are. Namaskar and hello world. This is Tandoor Chats with Trisha. And every Sunday noontime US Eastern Time, we bring you conversations around the events taking place around the things that is happening around us and how these events affect our daily life. So today's topic is life goes on, COVID or not. And I've been joined by my co host, Anish from Charlotte, North Carolina. Anish, please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Anish from Charlotte. I go to UNC Charlotte and have been taking part in this podcast for the past 3 weeks now. So, life is continuing, COVID or not, has been a lot different than 4 months before.
Yeah.
I've had to substitute a lot of stuff.
Wow, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
It's going to be
yeah.
very interesting, I believe. And I also have with me Amisha. Amisha, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Amisha. I'm a rising sophomore at Rutgers University. Um, and yeah, of course, like everybody else, I've also been um, obviously impacted by lockdown and Corona and everything. So we're going to be talking about that today.
Great, great. So Anisha and Amisha, it is actually a great pleasure that we will be joined by a guest right from the colorful state of India, which is Rajasthan. Rajasthan is the state in India, and we will be joined soon by our guest. I'm not going to reveal the name, and I would we would wait for her. So in the meanwhile, we actually have invited a couple of other people because the topic today is very much related to all of our daily lives. So Anish, how was your life pre-COVID? How was it going? How was it?
So, pre COVID, I was in Florida. I was enjoying my spring break. I was in Tampa, Miami, Key West. I was enjoying my life. I mean, COVID was relevant back then, but people were not taking it seriously. Neither was I, because it was not so prominent on the East Coast. All we knew that it reached Seattle from China. So we were pretty chill back then. And
So
then,
you're basically enjoying your life outside your house, right?
yep.
Okay. And Amisha, where were you
Um,
pre-COVID?
well, of course, I was on campus.
So outside the house.
Yeah, I was at my college campus because I was dorming there. Um, and yeah, I think it was just after midterms that we had to leave. Um, so it was right in the middle of spring semester, so everything was really fast, and we just had to go home really quickly.
Yes, you did. I do remember that suddenly I got a call and you said you've got to leave the campus and
And this is your first year of college, right?
you're of
Yeah.
college.
Kind of sad.
Stuff happens.
So
When I was in my first year of college, I was in Chennai in SRM University. So that year there was this huge thunderstorm or hurricane that hit Chennai, and I was stuck in the airport for 2 days.
Oh my god.
But that was that, and now what you guys are facing, that's something unreal actually.
Yeah.
that's true. That it is so true. So life before COVID, I mean, who would ever have thought that something like this would happen? We have also been joined by Rima straight away from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Rima, unmute yourself and we want to please introduce yourself. And
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm calling from Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. So I'm eagerly waiting to talk.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, so we thought that it would be. So let me just let's have a recap. So the first episode we were talking about, everything around COVID. That and during COVID, suddenly there was this announcement by the Trump administration that, hey, if you foreign students just leave, and then in a week, and our objective of that talk show was that the rule be reversed. And surprisingly, in a week's time, we get the reversal of the rule that, what, no, it's not going to happen. So future does not look as bleak as we all started thinking. And so that's a good thing that happened. And on the second episode, we were talking about why it is important for us to stay covered, why be masked. And I believe over throughout the world that most of the people have been pretty much convinced by the fact that how much a mask is important to not only save ourselves, our own life, but also to prevent spreading the germ, any kind of germ, and also save others. So that was a very good topic. Life goes on still, no matter what. There's no stop. Yes, we are home. So, Rima, as we were talking about, oh, great. So we have been joined. I'm going to add our, very special guest because Priyanka Banerjee has joined us from all the way from Rajasthan, India. Priyanka, please introduce yourself to all of us.
Hi, good evening for the ones in South Asia. Good afternoon for the ones in the US.
Mhm.
So before I begin, I'd just like to ask, rather, I'd like just to say the sentence of the year. Am I audible?
Very much.
Okay. So hello everyone, to everyone who can see me right now. My name is Priyanka Banerjee and I'm a high school teacher, a senior school history teacher actually, and I teach at a college called Mayo College, which also happens to be a school in Rajasthan, India. And well, I'd just like to begin with the fact that I'm really excited and happy that we're going to be talking and discussing about a topic that is extremely relevant in today's times which are extremely uncertain. And I'm just very excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priyanka. And I understand you being a teacher on the teacher's side, and yet I think the school has opened, and whereas in USA it's a summer break going on, and we are talking about what to do when the school reopens, whether we want to go 100% remote learning or hybrid way they want to do it. But I believe your school, so we want to know, Priyanka, how was it, where were you pre-COVID? So we'd like to know, and then Rima, we are coming to you.
Thank you so much for asking that. COVID, I mean, how do I even say? I mean, COVID-19 has taken a toll on everybody. And but before the whole phase, before the whole lockdown phase started, so I was in Rajasthan. I was in school because mine happens to be a boarding school. So I was here. I was teaching. Everything was fine and normal. But then suddenly, when the pandemic broke out and there was a national lockdown announced by our honorable Prime Minister, so immediately all the children they had to leave. The parents were involved, were informed, they left. And some of us teachers who are not residents or natives of Rajasthan, we also had to leave in a jiffy. And then that entire 3.5 months, I was home, thankfully, with my family, with my parents, because this is the last time in this kind of a situation where it is so uncertain. It's but obvious that we be with our family members. It's very important, and I was grateful enough to be with them. But then see, as far as my school is concerned, education sector is one of the sectors in this world which has adapted beautifully in spite of the pandemic. All right. So, in spite of the fact that even my school is closed, we are operating virtually, which is a huge task. I won't lie. As much as online lessons are beautiful, it's a mammoth of a task for teachers or professors, anybody at whatever level, to frame all of those modules and stuff. So, yes, I am working, but virtually. So, not in an actual classroom, but more across the screen. So, that's how it is as of now.
Priyanka, you mentioned a very good point that education, especially the education system, we saw in America that this is one system how nobody was trained, nobody knew what's going to happen. And however, what a great job all these teachers in such a short span of time, how well they adapted to the new ways. So it was very much at the first place that accepting that what's going on and this is reality, things are going to be a little different, and the acceptance, and then immediately just being able to embrace it. So, yes, of course, salute to the teachers, and we have Priyanka Banerjee with us. And Priyanka, since you mentioned that it is, oh, what an amazing time, we may call this as an opportunity to be home with our family. And I believe Rima is one of the best examples that I can see here, being with older parents. And Rima, because it's not easy. It's not easy. You're not. It's not online. It's something that you are not able to. They're not able to do the things that they were doing normally, and you are the one. Their age, the stage they are in, is called vulnerable. So they are not even allowed to go to the balcony, or right. So how difficult it is for them, because we'd like to see how their life was pre-COVID and post-COVID, because it's not just your life that is going on. You also have to make sure that their life also goes on smoothly, as at least as smoothly as possible.
You're right. In a way, we have actually drew a line for them where they cannot even go to the balcony, kind of like before this corona came in. Like my parents, my father, even my mother, both of them used to go for morning walk and evening walk too. But then since the time this has started, like they are completely into inside the house. They are not able to go. They are not able to see the world outside. We always say that you get some fresh air, you feel good, you feel energized moment you go out of your house. But then you are inside for the past 4 months, which is actually quite challenging, like if you have to walk, because they are vulnerable and they are all under medicines too. So in that case, like they have to walk, they have to, and circulation is happening properly, they should get some fresh air, which they are not getting at this moment. So for that, they're just walking inside the house, doing some kind of pranayam and other exercises, just to go with the flow. But that's really a challenge for them, like every day or the other something or something is coming up in their life, so which is quite challenging. The entire thing has changed altogether, you know that's what is the biggest challenge at this moment.
Thank you, Rima. Thank you. So, yes, definitely big challenges are there, and specifically when I think of young people like Anish, Amisha, Priyanka, who pre-COVID, I would just keep saying this word, pre-COVID, life would have been that you would go to friends, you'd go out to the city, or party, or whatever. You would go out, you would have fun, you would, but things have changed, right? But even though the things have changed, I still see that smile on your face, Anish. So is it like I've read that, like many others, you are also doing some COVID parties and things like that. So how are you able to keep that smile on your face?
So, of course, life's not the same as before, but I have made sure I have some fun. I have been contacting my old friends via video calls in India and all over the world, basically. And then on weekends, I have a small group here in Charlotte. I wouldn't say that we are doing wild parties like we did back 4 months, but yeah, we are playing poker, maintaining us. Also, I wouldn't say that we are maintaining social distance, but yeah, of course, we are trying our best, wearing masks whenever possible. And yeah, I haven't been uptown, which is like the heart of Charlotte and where all the fun is. I haven't been there in 4 months. Everything is being done indoors, and that's how we're having fun. You guys are
So you can
new.
basically have fun. It's not that things have changed. Of course, things have changed. You understand that things are going to be different, and yet you're able to have fun and let the life just, move on. So, how about you? What are the different kind of ways that you are still able to keep that smile on, what I saw pre-COVID?
Um, well, yeah, I agree. It's obviously a very big change because, as I said, during or just a few months ago, I was on campus and it was the middle of the school year. So, and yeah, it was my first year. So, it wasn't just academics, but it was, like the social scene on campus and everything. Like, there were so many things to do, and um, it's so easy to hang out with friends on campus because they're right there. So that was basically my life at that time. I was keeping busy by doing all that stuff. And when lockdown started, we still had classes. So at that point, I was focusing on, my coursework. And now that it's summer, I almost feel like I have nothing to do, except, just like read books, watch movies, like that kind of stuff. Um, but I guess in the midst of that, it's just trying to find like what you like to do and using the time that we have now to just do whatever you want, because I don't think that we'll be getting something like a time like this anytime soon. So yeah, that's how I've been spending my time, just you know doing my hobbies and whatnot.
At this point of time, I'd like to request all of you to unmute yourself. If you feel that there's a disturbance coming up, please remain muted. However, please unmute yourself, because uh, we have Priyanka here. And Rima, I'm just going to mute you. Let's see. Yeah. So there is some kind of echo coming. So you can unmute yourself, Anish and Priyanka. So
Gotcha.
why I wanted you all to unmute, keep yourself unmuted, is that yes, of course, you brought up a very good point, that whatever time we have, that yes, it is COVID, whatever situation is real, whatever time we have, like Anish said, what you are doing, how you are trying to find ways. Priyanka, what is it? You live in Rajasthan, right? Ajmer, Rajasthan, and that too in a like a campus, school campus. Can you tell us a little bit about you, where you are, Priyanka?
Currently, I'm in Ajmer, which is a city in Rajasthan, India. Now, however, my residence in Ajmer is not like like everyone else, I would say. So I live inside the school campus, and my campus is a mammoth of a campus. Okay, so I wouldn't even get into describing the campus, but let's just say that it's over 200 acres of a school campus, and it's got grounds and swimming pools and academic buildings and residential areas and hostels, etc., etc. But yes, as Amisha was also saying, life has been difficult. Okay, life has truly been difficult in these times. I mean, in these uncertain times of COVID-19, it is quite a task to manage everything because, as the Indian Prime Minister said, that we need to be hashtag Atmanirbhar, which basically means self-dependent.
Self-reliant, yes.
So there's just too much to do. There's too much to do. I mean, apart from work, there's household chores and there's tons of work to do. So there's a lot of things to keep me busy the entire day, thankfully.
Rima wants to ask you something. Rima, you have something, some other device which is on because there is a lot of disturbance coming from your side. So I would request you to mute other devices. Yeah, you can talk now. There is something.
Is that fine now?
Yes,
Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
I wanted to ask Priyanka, since you raised the point that how the situation with the bigger kids during this COVID-19. I wanted to ask Priyanka, since she's a young, dynamic teacher, and for her, change is obvious. She can do it with fraction of second. But there are some teachers who have spent a huge number of years in the school, and they have a certain standard, certain way of teaching which they were doing it. Now, due to this corona, how the changes has happened in their life? I mean, how are they teaching? How much challenges they are facing in this situation? Because for you it is very easy, but for them it's not minded. So I want to know what is their reaction, what you are finding out of it. This question is for Priyanka.
Right. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your question. And also, thank you so much for the kind introduction that you gave me. Well, answering your question, yes, it is extremely difficult for the older teachers, I would say. Because, see, honestly speaking, one of the most essential skills that we could develop as human beings in today's times is adaptability. All right. Now, yes, I do belong to a certain age group which grew up with technology. So it is easier for me to switch over to a virtual class and be it the usage of applications and XYZ, all of that. But yes, for the teachers who belong to a certain age group and yes, who do belong to the traditional method of teaching, for them it is very, very difficult. To embrace technology, it is not simple. Taking a class via Zoom or Microsoft Teams or any other platform that you could think about, sharing your materials, making PPTs or worksheets or pre-teaching materials or quizzes, Microsoft, Google, whatever, it's extremely difficult. And moreover, like if I talk about teachers who are as old as my parents, though my parents do not teach, but I do know teachers who are in their late 40s, in their 50s. It is extremely difficult for them to balance, to learn technology. And there are people who have just recently started using WhatsApp, and now they have to learn Microsoft and Google at the same time, be it Teams, be it classrooms. Of course, there's Zoom. So it's extremely difficult. But, ma'am, what I could tell you with a lot of conviction is that teachers across the world, they are trying their level best to make education accessible to the children irrespective of the pandemic, because the pandemic is here to stay. So we do talk about we do talk about corona warriors, and we do talk about tons of people who are putting in a lot of effort to save us, to save other humans, whereas we are staying home. So many years later, if we survive, we're going to tell our grandchildren that I saved the world by staying at home. But there are people who are still continuing with their work, and teachers, yes, across geographies, across age groups, They are embracing technology with the help of their children, especially the older ones, with the help of their children, with the help of their grandchildren. But yes, they are making it possible, irrespective of all the problems.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you
That's
so much.
You're welcome.
Rima, you asked a very valid question. I was reading that the TV industry in India, the I really, honestly, I do feel sorry for, especially for my mom and dad and my father-in-law, because they completely used to depend on the TV serials, the TV series. And now for every day they would switch on, and the new chapter going on and new story, and not new story but the what's next. But now suddenly, due to COVID, and things were at a halt. So but they are not much into Netflix and other platforms, streaming platforms. However, TV was very much source of their um, entertainment. And but from the TV industry, I read that now they have started to resume following social distancing and other measures, COVID measures, preventive measures. But I read that they had announced that they had asked the senior actors to not resume their work because of being at more prone to the disease, and because of their vulnerable age. And just yesterday, so it was about 2 weeks ago, and just yesterday I read that now there is this association of actors, or TV broadcasting association, and some sort. But what is important is that they have raised a concern uh, for, so it's a form of discrimination that they're doing. So in education, as Priyanka said, that yes, with the help, it's a mind blowing, uh, excellent, fantastic word. No word would be just the right word to say how the teachers have done such a great job, whether senior, experienced, they're doing it. But other industries, when I read that old, due to old age, or the older generation, or senior for that matter, experienced, then these things come, that well, discriminatory. So there's a somewhere hidden discriminatory word going on in the TV industry. Now we were talking education. Yes, education has been done greatly. Teachers, salute to the teachers. But in other industries, it's been greatly affected, because after all, you go to work whether COVID or not, and if that particular is work was your bread earner, source, that has been taken away. Last night, Anish and I, we were talking about, Anish mentioned that how these industries, various industries, have been impacted. And in New Jersey, I know that they were running on 25% capacity. I don't know about Charlotte. And also about India, I think again, the whether it's food industry, travel, I don't think it's still working that great. But food industry, and there are many other non-essential, however these are essential in our lives, and but these definitely have been greatly affected. So Anish, you said that you did not go to Uptown as yet, but you want to go, right? You want things to get normal, and but isn't this the new normal?
It might be. It might be. Well, I would say the only industry that has made profit out of this pandemic would be the entertainment industry. Well, you guys said that new serials are not coming out, but think about Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and all that. They are doing a lot of profit.
Yeah.
The industry that I would say that is not doing profit is traveling and restaurants and all those types of places. Well, in Charlotte right now, restaurants are opening up at 50% capacity. This was part of phase two of the reopening. But then looking at the current cases, I would say the governor is thinking about going back to phase one, which is still keeping all the restaurants shut, which I think would be the right thing to do at this point of time. Now, coming to where I work at the fintech industry. Full disclosure, I don't work, I'm an intern. But yeah, I would say the financial and the tech industry has not been super hit as compared to the other industries. We do manage using technology like video calls, audio calls, and chats to get our work done. We do it pretty efficiently. I would say equally as we did before, if not more. So I would say that's the kind of stuff that's going around me at least.
Wow. And travel, I believe that it's going to be like that for quite some time.
Sometime, yep,
And
definitely.
it's only best to accept it. So yes, I want to go. I want to travel. I want to, go to the beaches. I want to go to the mountains, and I know that Priyanka is a backpacker, and she has been she has been like that since her college days. So, Priyanka, you must be missing all that, especially staying in Rajasthan, the one of the most colorful state of India. I mean, right, Priyanka, how difficult it is to just keep staying at home and, while still living at the heart of, I consider Rajasthan to be, the heart of India. So as there are other states also. So don't you? I mean, it's so hot, right? Isn't it very hot in Ajmer, Rajasthan?
Yes, actually, Ajmer is extremely hot. In fact, Rajasthan is a desert state, so it's extremely hot. And though we're technically in monsoons, but we're still awakening the monsoons. Hopefully, we should get them in August. We have brief spells, but it's unbearably hot and humid at the same time. Now, talking about traveling, yes, but let's just say it's been quite a task. Before the whole pandemic broke out, I did have travel plans for the summer. I had planned to go to Kerala and Karnataka. I literally had an itinerary of about 27 days of backpacking. But then when everything shut down, I got a call from my mother and she said, just forget about everything and just come home. And going home was another thing altogether, with flights being cancelled. And I clearly remember I reached Calcutta 2 hours before it was national lockdown in our country. I was stranded at the Delhi airport for about 6 hours. My flight was late. We were too scared. Forget eating and drinking anything. We were just too scared. Okay. And I was lucky enough to reach home. My dad was at the airport, and he had to bring special papers and identification and ticket printouts just to be able to come and receive me at the airport. And after that, of course, I was just grateful that I could be home. And now thinking about traveling, of course, it's very difficult. As I already mentioned, these are uncertain times. It's extremely difficult, especially for people who have an outdoorsy nature, to be at home, to do all your household work, which is essential, of course, and of course, do your work. But yes, I do miss traveling. I miss going out. I miss meeting people, meeting and greeting people. But at the same time, at the back of my mind, I know that irrespective of how difficult it is being at home and not being able to travel or do anything, at least I'm grateful that by being home, I am safe and I'm not contributing to anything, contributing to, let's just say, any bad aspect of COVID 19. So by staying home and whenever I do step out for my necessities and my groceries, by wearing a mask, I know that I'm saving others as well as myself. So yes, it's extremely difficult, but honestly, there's nothing much we can do.
That's true. There's nothing much we can do. And I know that Anish, Amisha, even Rima, and I mean, most of us, we love to travel. well, that's how I grew up. Me, Rima, we grew up in most of the states or most of the parts of India while growing up, and it still is in there that we want to go out and we want to see places, meet new people, eat different kind of food. And yes, but then again, like Anish and you said, that we have to find ways how to go about it, how to make the best use of the time that we have. Now we are planning to go to Charlotte to Anish in about 2 weeks' time, and Anish has, so there's this thing that when this COVID lockdown and all started, and it started right here. We are, New York, New Jersey area. Everything was shut down, and we couldn't be. It was a terrible situation here, and we had at that point of time we wanted Anish to just come and immediately leave everything and just come, like how Amisha came. But it's been so many months that we haven't been able to meet, and so definitely, whether you try the bus route or air route or whichever way, but it's definitely um, it is in effect. And even now that we want to, are you very happy about going to in 2 weeks driving to North Carolina?
Yeah, I personally really like road trips, and that's the closest that we can get to right now. So even if it's just to like pick him up and come back, I'm happy with that.
So yes, so we are just trying to find out ways how to, maybe it's a long drive. It's about a 8 to 10 hours drive, and however, but we have to be careful, right? I mean, I don't know how we are going to manage not to use the public bathrooms, and I don't know how we are going to do that. However, Anish, we are very happy that we are just excited that
We
we
just get
are
to get out of
to
the
get
house a little
out,
bit of
and
New
we have a
Jersey.
reason, because it's for family reason. But we are very excited, just the thought. So Anish, what about you? Are you excited that you'll be able to get out of the house, and other than grocery shopping, and so are you excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited that I'll get to meet y'all. And then another thing that comes to my mind is every day I think that we should start going out and eventually wait for the herd immunity to kick in. But then I start thinking about my grandparents, and we might be enjoying outside, but just imagine if someone else gets affected because of us. That's what I think. So other than that, yeah, I'm really happy that you guys are coming here and finally we'll get to meet after 6 months and I'll not be alone anymore.
Yes, we also, same here. Rima, you want to say something here? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, that will be really good to know that even Anish is going to, he will not be
Yeah,
staying
us
alone.
too, because there's one very beautiful thing.
Grandparents will also be very
Very
happy.
yes, Rima, to that very beautiful thing that Anish said, that grandparents, that that we worry about because of their age, especially. Now there is this, when they get to hear, it's the love, it's the bond that they get to hear, that family is getting together. I mean, I remember that, Priyanka, when you were finally able to land, your plane landed, and when we got to hear that you were home, it was a, what do you call that?
Really?
It was such a big relief. So that relief, yes, I am still home, and that feeling was like, wow, as if I've achieved something bigger that I always wanted to achieve. So so even though the Anish, your grandparents, Priyanka, Misha's, that they are home, but these are small, small things that can make them very happy. So these are some of the ways that, yes, Rima?
Yeah, even I want to add that I really appreciate that the this generation, they are so much worried about even their grandparents. Even a month back, when I was going for a walk, and I came back and called Anish and said that, well, I went for a walk, I'm very much worried about my health. He just told me, stop doing that. Why are you doing it? I said, okay, well, that you should be happy that I'm doing it for myself. He said, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about my grandparents. Because of you, they will get affected. So I would request you not to do that, which is really nice. That gives a very good feeling that they are so much bothered about their old grandparents, and
Very
that
truly.
shows the values they have.
Yeah, I said that because I I have a friend whose grandparents, they live in Pune, and they recently got hit by COVID, and that completely opened my eyes, and I was kind of shocked because before that I wasn't thinking this is a hoax, but I wasn't taking it that seriously. But then when someone close to you gets affected, you really take it seriously.
That's true. I I agree that. And Priyanka,
We always talk from our experience only, unless it happens to someone
yeah,
very near to us. We don't understand the value of it.
very
So,
true. Very true. And Priyanka, I so remember those days when you said last 3 months you had been with your family, right? Your parents. And it gives so much of, and if I remember correctly, hardly any member of the family left the house other than the essential, outings that you needed to do. And although, yes, good thing is that your parents are quite young, and yet there is always, you never know, like Anish said, that you never know when we get hit by it, because mostly they're saying the the healthcare system says that, especially CDC, as it says that asymptomatic, we don't know if we got it. And so that is a very good point. Yes, the younger generation, your generation, does that sound like, I'm like very, I'm in a older generation.
Stereotypical.
Okay, good. I like that. Good. So yes, so so it is how we are still able to connect with each other. But that is, see, that feeling is definitely still there. Life is going on, right? Life has to go on. There is no stop. Yes, of course, there are things that we need to follow. For example, as Priyanka embraced, how you embraced the new system in spite of being at the younger generation, younger group of teachers. I am sure it was not that easy, because a classroom to a complete online, that makes a huge difference. And I know, please correct me if I'm wrong, in India it is not that everything is online the way that we face it here, right? And it is a great leap, I would say. Initially, I read that, they were offering WhatsApp classes, not your school or other schools, for for help, online help. Teachers were offering WhatsApp classes. Like, you have a question, and they would answer. I, however, on the other hand, it had been a great shift, the digital transformation, the shift that took place. And the teachers, the educators did not have enough time to play it around with, right? Because you're dealing with students, right? And it was middle of the educational academic year. So once again, hats off to the teachers, how flawlessly, I would like to use the word, you were able to transform, and you quickly embraced. You spent hours, I know, besides your regular teaching hours, how many hours you spent in learning, in preparing, in keeping things ready for your students. So that's amazing. And I know Anish, Amisha, Priyanka, you all want to go out, you want to have party, but also you understand very well that, why not just make the best use of the time that we have.
I
And
I mean, of course we all miss, our social lives, but to me it's like that's not important right now. Like that's how I feel. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic, which kind of trumps everything else. So even though yeah, I miss, frequently going out and like hanging out with my friends and everything. Um
one time you did social distancing picnic, right?
yeah, yeah. But
Like
even yeah, we
like
wore
Anish also
masks
said, social distancing
and
parties.
we just well, it was only three people, like me and two other friends. Um and yeah, we wore masks and stayed 6 feet away and everything the whole time, and it was outside. But even so, just like hanging out and like that kind of stuff is not a priority for me right now. What's important is that we all follow the guidelines and we get through this. So that's why I don't know. I'm not complaining that much because I don't know. I know what's important, I guess.
What's important is you get your license, please.
But even so, I don't really have anywhere to go.
That's
I mean, you could have made the best use of this lockdown by driving around. No, you would have had no one to hit, and
yeah.
you probably would have learned a lot.
That could work. That advice could work very well with Priyanka and her new car. So Priyanka, how how about your new car? You must be very happy to see your car after 4 months, right? Are you driving around?
I was just grateful that my car started the moment just I don't know. I was just happy that nothing happened. I mean, nothing went wrong with the battery, and the fact that it begun the moment I turned on the engine. So I was grateful for that. And I think, I agree with what Amisha and Anish, both of them are saying, like I'm happy for the fact that God has been kind and I have food on my plate. And I could just hope that my family is safe, especially because I'm not with them physically right now. And as Amisha said, going out, of course I miss it. Everyone misses it. We all have a certain social life. We have a private life, and none of it applies right now. But I think we're just grateful for the fact that we are alive, we are safe, because we don't know who's a potential carrier. So, and I'm just happy that I have food and I'm safe and my family hopefully is safe. And going out is not a priority right now. Right now the priority is to be safe, to be alive. And I think the biggest thing that can help us in this pandemic, I mean, in the current times, is our own immunity. So yes, I mean, we could do a lot of things in this phase that we're in, just to help ourselves so that we're able to help the others as well around us. So yes, my car is just like a showpiece right now. Thankfully, it's with me. It's physically in front of my eyes, but it's no less than a showpiece. And the only driving that I'm doing right now is occasionally going around to run errands. That's literally it. But other than that, it's all right. My car is there, but let's just say that's all there is to it.
And Rima,
Trisha,
what about you?
I
Rima,
wanted to,
do you?
I wanted to ask these youngsters,
Yeah.
since we have youngsters here, like we talk so much about health. Uh, what these guys are actually doing to keep themselves healthy, to keep themselves fit. I know most of their time is going on Netflix and other streaming channels,
These
but
two,
then,
these two, Anish and Amisha. I
yeah,
don't
so
Not
know.
for all. Not for
Not
all.
for all, not for
yeah, what are
Priyanka.
they doing?
She's a
What are they
single
doing
mother.
to keep themselves fit? Uh, I'm very much eager to know.
Well, me and my sister, we go out for walks. We try to go every day, but we're kind of lazy sometimes. But overall, we try to go for pretty long walks. It's usually when we go out, it's like more than an hour. Um, and we'll walk just around our entire neighborhood basically. And like yesterday, I went for a jog, so just to switch it up. But yeah, we try to get outside and when we do go outside, we of course wear, we bring our masks and everything and stay away from other people. So yeah, that's we're just trying to be healthy like that.
I
That's
think
great.
For me, health has taken a backseat right now. It's not on the top priority in my
Why?
list, but yeah, I'll pretty soon start working out and do something
I
to
know
get
that
my health
his
right
health
now.
is God gifted, his physique is God gifted. There's nothing God gifted. For some reason, I'm sure you're doing your push-ups, regular push-ups at home, right?
Not really.
So,
I hope Priyanka is doing it. The push-ups.
Well, for me, this entire phase, and especially now because I'm all alone, I live alone right now. So for me, the most important thing is to eat healthy, eat clean. I've been practicing. I mean, I've been an vegetarian for over the last 20 days, I would say.
wow.
And the kind of person I am, that's quite a difficult thing because I'm a hardcore non-vegetarian. And I've been practicing vegetarianism, only exception being that I'm consuming eggs as well. So I'm just being very particular about what I eat right now, and there are two things which I absolutely detest from the bottom of my heart, but I'm consuming it every day, and that is amla and aloe vera juice. It's
Amla
pathetic to say the
is
least.
I believe.
It's
Amla is
pathetic to say the least, but I have to do it because, as I said, the only thing that can save us is our immunity. And
wow.
being alone without family, I'm the only one who can take care of myself. And other than that, I won't lie, being on screen, any kind of gadget takes a huge part of my day. Okay, it's a big part of my day, honestly. And of course, there are household chores. But essentially, my stress buster, I won't really say that I work out a lot, I won't lie. But my biggest stress buster is music because at the end of the day, I'm an Indian, okay, we're the land of Bollywood. So the best thing I can do is just, play some amazing Bollywood music on Spotify or YouTube maybe, and just start dancing, random dancing. That's my stress buster at least.
Wow. That's even a
So
better.
nice to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I mean,
So
I even start dancing when, after an entire cycle of my washing machine, that music that plays, I start dancing to that also. Because
love.
life is monotonous, spending so much time in front of the laptop or the phone or any of that. I got to do something, and especially because I'm indoors. So that's the quickest thing. Either play some music or just randomly start dancing whenever.
Yeah, I think that's a very good suggestion that Rima, you and I, we should follow. And see, I'm yeah, every episode, each episode, well, today is our third episode, and life goes on, COVID or not, and this is going great, guys. How beautifully you shared your different ways of using your time in spite of staying home, staying by yourself, with limited supplies, with limited places to go, and in spite of all that, how wonderfully well you're able to keep and make your life continue to go. We are almost at the end. I'd like to say that please our video, like our video, and share our video, because we want to every week we want to bring conversations around the events, things that's happening, and how it affects our daily lives. So before we end, um, Rima, your last few words for our viewers. Please unmute yourself.
I would like to say that it's till we get something, some vaccine that actually comes up, we have to wait. But then we have to wait doesn't mean that we will just wait. Life must go on. We should continue doing something creative um, in our life so that every time we feel positive and keep ourselves active. So that's what my take is, and that's what my message is. Thank you. You are on mute.
We have Priyanka. Priyanka, your message for our viewers.
All right. So my message for all of you is that mostly because I'm a teacher of historical studies. So Gandhi once said that be the change you wish to see in this world. Okay. And charity begins at home. So with the ongoing pandemic, there's so much information and misinformation available online. We are grateful that we are alive. We have food on our plates. Our family is safe. So in in uncertain times, what we should do is just take care of ourselves and our families, take care of our health, to pass time properly and judiciously. We could, just not just spend all our times on Netflix and Amazon Prime and stuff. We could do constructive stuff as well, but most importantly, take care of our health, take care of our near and dear ones, because that's the least we can do. Instead of saving the world, we should first take care of ourselves. So that's my advice to everybody out there.
See, that's such a beautiful message, Rima and Priyanka. Anish, we'd like to hear from you. What's your message for our viewers, or what's your last few words?
So what Didi and Mom said is 100% true. So I would only like to add a little bit on top of that. So you guys must have heard about this, that change is the only constant, right? So I would ask all the viewers to say that I was just ask all the viewers to embrace whatever's taking place right now and just take a chill pill and everything's gonna be alright soon.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Anish. And last but not the least, Amisha, your last few words.
Well, I agree with what everybody else said, and especially what Anish said, which is basically, don't like worry way too much. And I also think, especially when it comes to feeling productive in that sense, also don't feel like you're failing just because you're not getting everything you want done right now, because you have to remember we're in the middle of a pandemic, and the world we're in right now is very different than what we're used to. So it's okay if you're not doing everything that you want to be doing right now. Just again, like, focus on yourself and make sure you're following all the guidelines, and um, just try to focus on the present. And um, I think that's the only way that we'll be able to get through this, being sane.
Wow, thank you, Amisha. You know what? I'm already feeling so good about having such amazing co-hosts with me. It's kind of, having high-priced philosophers and amazing. I mean it. I mean, what Rima said, Priyanka said, and these are very basic things that you all said. However, we tend to forget, and all we need sometimes is just that a little reminder. So friends, thank you for watching Tandoor Chats with Trisha, and I completely agree with all my co-hosts here. Priyanka from Rajasthan, India, Rima from Maharashtra, India, Anish from North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Amisha with me. That yes, there are so many things that we can do because we have the power in us. It's just that we need to realize, we need to take time. And COVID has actually provided us with an opportunity to pause and take a look within each one of us, within us, inside us. That something that had been perhaps telling us that, you know what, just take a look at me. And here are the things that I can do. Listen to yourself, listen to your inner self, be creative. There are so many things. You forgot how to do it. You can restart. As Priyanka said, that, be the change, face the reality. This is the reality. Embrace it. And there are many different ways, new ways. Find new ways to do things. And Anish said that change is the only constant. Wow, that's true. Whether it's COVID or not, change is bound to happen. And Amisha said, how beautifully you agreed, and you said that focus on the present, because I'm sure you would agree that coronavirus or the current COVID situation, the pandemic, if not bigger things, but actually has is still teaching us that, you know what, we haven't seen future. Past has already happened, but present is what it is right now. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, my co-hosts Priyanka Banerjee, Rima, Maitra, Anish Bhattacharya, Amisha Mukhopadhyay. Thank you so much. Please share, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Trisha Speaks. And also, we need your help so we can bring interesting topics each week. Donate. That's how you can support us, encourage us. Donate at PayPal, trishaconnects@gmail.com.
And make sure to follow our Instagram at Tandoor Chats with Trisha.
Tandoor Chats with Trisha, that's our Instagram. I don't know what you call it, but we are on Instagram now. So that's a good thing. And thank you so much. So good night and have a good day, everyone. This is Trisha signing off for now. However, next week we are going to come with another interesting topic on Tandoor Chats with Trisha. Thank you.